Hello, this is a last-minute review for political and public international law. I have prepared 25 important legal questions with suggested answers based on the 2025 bar exam syllabus. These are crafted in bar-style format with a focus on essential doctrines, constitutional provisions, and jurisprudence. So let's proceed. So under the 1987 Constitution, Nature, Amendments, and State Powers, let's have question number 1. What is the doctrine of constitutional supremacy? Answer: this means that the Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Thereby, all laws and state actions must conform to it, otherwise they are null and void. Question number 2. What are the modes of amending the Philippine Constitution under Article 7? Answer: we have 3. First, Congress upon a vote of 3/4 of all its members. Second, through Constitutional Convention or CONCON. And third, through People's Initiative with at least 12% of the total registered voters and 3% per legislative district. All right, let's go to number 3. Can the president unilaterally declare martial law? The answer is yes, but under Article 7, Section 18, such declaration is subject to review by Congress and the Supreme Court, and it shall not exceed 60 days without congressional extension. Okay, let's go to differentiate police power, power of eminent domain, and taxation. So when you say police power, it is the regulation to promote general welfare. As for eminent domain, this is the taking of private property for public use with just compensation. And taxation is the power to raise revenue for public needs. Question 5. What are the limitations to the president's power of appointment? Answer: the president cannot appoint during the 2-month election ban, nor appoint to offices requiring commission on appointments or judicial and bar council selection without compliance. Let's proceed to citizenship, public officers, and national patrimony. Question: what are the modes of acquiring Philippine citizenship under the 1987 Constitution? So we have 4 modes. First, hus sanguinis or by blood. Second, naturalization. Third, repatriation. And fourth, election. And these are for those born before 1973 to Filipino mothers. Next question. May dual citizens run for public office? The answer is yes, but under Republic versus Kicho 2022, dual citizens must renounce foreign citizenship and show actual residency in the Philippines before election day. Question 8. What is the doctrine of operative fact in relation to unconstitutional acts? So the answer is it acknowledges that acts performed under a law declared unconstitutional may still produce legal effects before nullification if equity demands. Okay, number 9. Define public office and distinguish it from employment. Answer: public office is a right and a duty to perform public functions as conferred by law. Employment implies contractual, subordinate, and typically non-sovereign roles. Next question. What constitutes national patrimony under the Constitution? Answer: it includes lands of the public domain, waters, minerals, forests, wildlife, marine resources, and other natural resources under Article 12. All right, let's go to administrative law, constitutional commissions, election law, and local government. So question: what are the requisites of a valid administrative rule? There are 3 requisites. First, it must be within the authority granted. Second, it must be promulgated properly. And third, it must be published in the official gazette or a newspaper of general circulation. This is under the case of Tanyada versus Tubera. Next question. Are the decisions of the Ombudsman appealable to the Court of Appeals? The answer is yes, and this is cited under Fabian versus Desierto. And the proper remedy is Rule 43, which is a petition to the Court of Appeals. Question 13. May Congress increase the budget of the Commission on Audit or COA? And the answer is no. Under Article 9-A, Congress cannot reduce the appropriations of constitutional commissions, but may not increase it beyond their proposals either. All right. Let's go to question 14. Can a president remove a COMELEC commissioner? And the answer is no. Constitutional commissioners may only be removed by impeachment. And next question, what is the doctrine of local autonomy? Answer, local autonomy mandates local government to manage their own affairs with minimal central government interference. That's under Article 10 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Now, what is the difference between recall and initiative? Okay, so recall is a removal of an elected officials by the voters, while initiative is the direct proposal of legislation or constitutional amendment by the people. Now, what is the three-term limit rule under local government law? Okay, this rule means an elective local official cannot serve more than 3 consecutive terms in the same position, and that's under the case of Lonsanida versus Comelec. Now, can barangays enact ordinances on national concerns? The answer is no. LGUs can legislate only on matters of local application, but not on national policy unless expressly authorized by law. Next question. What is the significance of the Equal Access to Opportunities for Public Service clause? Okay, this clause means it prohibits political dynasties unless provided by law. This is under Article 2, Section 26, although as of now, there is no enabling law that exists yet. All right, question 20. What is the effect of a failure of election declaration by the COMELEC? All right, this means it may justify special elections if no candidate was elected, and this is under the Omnibus Election Code provisions. Let's go to public international law. Okay, what are the sources of the public international law under Article 38 of the ICJ statute? So we have the international conventions, international custom, general principles of law, judicial decisions, and teachings, although these are subsidiary. Next question, what are the kinds of jurisdiction under the international law? So we have territorial, nationality, protective, universality, and passive personality. So when does a treaty become binding on the Philippines? So treaty becomes binding after concurrence by the Senate unless it is an executive agreement. This is under Bayot versus DOH. And what is the difference between a treaty and an executive agreement? Well, treaty requires Senate concurrence, which is 2/3 vote, while executive agreement does not require Senate action, but it is based on presidential authority. And finally, what is the role of the International Criminal Court and what is its effect on Philippine sovereignty? So, the ICC prosecute crimes against humanity and war crimes. Now, although the Philippines withdrew from the Rome Statute, it may still exercise jurisdiction over crimes committed
while the country was still a party as per ICC ruling and international law principles of non-retroactivity and complementarity. Okay, if you find this video useful and substantial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Daghang salamat.